Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We've got another live stream here. It's at 6:59 tonight. 6:59. I got some water. I got some lemonade mixture. And so we'll have a nice little stream here tonight. When I got off of the stream last night, it was like sunny outside. I mean, it's like, let me tell you, like 10 o'clock at night, it's still light out. Still light out. And it's impossible to go out with this humidity. The humidity it's overwhelming. It gives you anxiety. It's grotesque. I called the humidity grotesque. It's every day the humidity. You know, we've been having these days constantly where it's cloudy, cloudy, cloudy. It's constantly overcast. It's constantly on the verge of raining. Then it'll downpour for 3 minutes. Then it'll stop for 3 hours, and it's just the humidity. Just the humidity. The humidity. I mean, you know, you think back to when you were young. I don't think we ever got humidity this bad. This humidity is real bad today, and they really like the past week. It's just never ending. Yeah, there's been an announcement by Trump. Major ceasefire deal. This ceasefire over under 2 weeks. How long does it last? I don't know. Major announcement. I think they're going to come to an actual peace deal. I think there's a two-state solution, but the United States is going to have to recognize territory in the West Bank for Israel to agree to it. You're convinced Trump punched Elon in the eye? That would be funny, but it was actually Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, who basically admitted he did it. Because they asked him today, and he said, well, I'll handle finances, Elon can handle space. Or he said something along those lines. Yeah, Bessent punched him in the face because he, like, shoulder-checked Bessent. Musk did when they were having an argument. Trump-Musk feuds are fake. I mean, maybe. I don't know, man. I mean, there's no way that the Epstein one was fake because it made Trump look terrible. You're not gonna fake a feud by making exposing Trump like that. But I'm kind of over the feuds, whether they're real or not. It's just like, can we not do this again? And now Musk is saying he's gonna launch his own party, and he's gonna have to do it because this bill is gonna go through. It went back to the House. The Senate passed it. Now it's back in the House, and then it goes to Trump, and that's it. It gets signed into law. Probably by July 4th, if you look at the betting. 61% chance on July 4th. 71% chance on July 5th. Very likely to be passed by the end of July at the latest. So, I mean, it might even get passed on the 3rd. So it's pretty much a done deal now that it's back in the House. We'll see what ends up, you know, they're still disputing reports on what they ended up cutting out of it. And so I'm sure that'll come out. But I had heard they had put back what was it? Kicking Medicare's off of, or kicking illegals off of Medicare. Kicking illegals off of Medicare. There is no $3 trillion deficit. That deficit is based on the pre-2017 tax cuts revenue, so they will always be a $3 trillion deficit until the 2017 tax cuts expires. Well, I think what it is they're saying based off of, I mean, whether you think it's 3 trillion or whatever, I think the headline is over the next 10 years it's going to add 2.4 trillion, which annually, they really should do it annually. I guess it's like 200 billion annually per year is supposedly what this new bill is going to add. Supposedly. You know, and they have to estimate off of, you know, economic growth, which is something that the administration will dispute. But I don't know. I never read it was 3 trillion. I said what they say is it's 2.4 trillion added over 10 years. So if you do it like per year, it's like 200 billion, I think. Chances he gets Nobel Peace Prize. Well, I mean, I think he would really, they would, you know, they don't want to give it to him, but he would really be pressuring for it if he was a mediator in the ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. I think you got to really consider giving it to him at that point. You really have to. I mean, they're not going to want to do it, but it becomes kind of hard, especially if this ends up being a two-state solution. I mean, imagine Trump works out the two-state solution when it seemed like it was impossible earlier this year. Did they keep the stuff in immigration and illegal? Yeah, the immigration spending is going to have to remain for sure. I don't think they can cut that, or they're going to cut that. I never heard anything about them cutting that. And I think they put the illegals being kicked off of Medicare back in. No, I don't watch that. I'm not sure what that is. Alligator Alcatraz. Yes, Trump visited Alligator Alcatraz earlier today. They set it up, and apparently it's going to house. They said 3 to 5,000, and we'll see if it ends up being a good thing or not. Apparently, it's going to be an orderly way to house these illegals. I mean, there's just so many of them. They've let in 20, 30 million. You got to house them somehow. They're going to go there, and then they're going to be deported. They're going to be sent on planes out. Because the 2017 personal tax cuts were going to expire in 2025, and the CBO uses current law, which is taxes going up to the pre-2017 to calculate it. Overall spending is lowered. No, absolutely. That's the point. They're extending the 2017 tax cuts and then saying Trump is spending so much money. No, the spending is actually going down. That's what because Musk knows it would be really bad if he actually said what was really going on. What Musk wants and what would appease him is if they taxed people more. That's what Musk is insinuating. If you extend the tax cuts, yeah, I mean, we're not going to make as much revenue, hypothetically. So what does Musk want? I mean, Trump ran. Is Musk insinuating that Trump just give up all of his campaign promises and just tax people more? This is a more vendetta with Musk against Trump. Do you have good AC? Yeah, the AC's fine. I don't have good AC for my car, but the AC's fine. I set it to like 68, and but in the upstairs it gets a little bit hotter, but it's not terrible. I've got massive blinds and stuff. Big beautiful Bill Trump 2028 for a third term. Thank you for the donation, man. We know. Laura Trump running in New York, is that true? I think Trump endorsed her for it. I don't know. If the Russia Ukraine thing happens, you think he'll definitely get the Nobel? Yeah, it'll be like him being on Time Magazine. Well, the Time Magazine is more of they used to call it Man of the Year, then they changed it. But yeah, that was that the Time Person of the Year it's good or bad. It's just you have an overall impact. The Nobel Peace Prize is having a good impact, so I don't know if they'd want to give it to him. I'm not sure that's a fair comparison. The Time Person of the Year, they could kind of scoot by and say, well, Trump, we don't like him, but he had this major impact to the world. Stalin was on it, Hitler was on it. They would try and explain it away like that. Person of the Year, who got it last year? Andrew, what's up, man? Get an AC recharge. Yeah, I've been told it's going to cost about, maybe it depends what's wrong with the AC exactly, but it could be as little as 300. It could be as high as, depending on if it. I don't think it fully needs to be fixed. It's just the air. It might be around 300 to 500 to fix it. You read that one? They were not shitting on him, really? Thing about the ceasefires, you never know how they're going to last. Oh, yeah, I know. Especially with a ceasefire between, Israel and Hamas. They've already been broken several times. So, but there is apparently behind the scenes, even before the ceasefire was announced, there's talks of them potentially having some type of long-standing peace. I mean, that at this point, Israel is starting to really face some pressure in terms of backlash. And so you have to wonder if they want to get out of this. And there might be Trump and the United States recognizing some territory in the West Bank for Israel for them to back out of this. Didn't Zelensky get it? I think Zelensky got it in 23, right when the invasion happened. Oh no, he got it in 22 in Zelensky. The invasion happened in 22, in February of 22. Yeah, because it's over 3 years now. So Zelensky, I think, got the Time Person of the Year in 22, for sure. He'll get the Peace Prize after two-state solution is official. Yeah, and I think I think it's going to happen. I mean, we'll see, but these Middle Eastern things. But it seems like both Hamas and Israel are exhausted, and Israel has taken some serious backlash for what they've done to Gaza. So they're looking for an off-ramp. Mm-hmm. Do you believe in the fifth plane? It's really a weird story, man. It's a real strange story. They were originally supposed to have 10 planes. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to dispute some of the facts with them finding box cutters. I mean, that seems like a dead giveaway. Kevin, thank you for the donation. Democrats want everyone to live in poverty. Huntington Bank Dome in 2029. Yeah, but dude, think about I feel like that's going to be some disruptions for the airport. The construction going on. Do you know when the construction starts for that? Would it start in 26 or is it starting now? The construction right next to the airport's going to be a nuisance. Although I don't know. It's like across the bridge. And then when they build that, imagine the traffic there. Whew. I mean, it's only on Sundays, but what if video on if the attempt on Trump was successful, JD ran. I mean, there's enough of those, I'm sure, out there. You've read that the Russians have been gaining about 3 miles per hour on average. Yeah, I heard they were starting a offensive into more of the central region, but I don't know, man. The last thing that I saw is they didn't even control all of the territory within those 4 oblasts that they wanted, because they already have Crimea fully. But they want those 4 oblasts and possibly more, and that's probably going to be part. I mean, they're going to annex that territory, I would imagine. That's going to be part of the peace deal. You'd have to start. They need to start immediately. You'd have to imagine they need to start immediately to open by 29. It's not Vegas with warm weather stadiums, harder to build in the winter months. I mean, they might start in the fall. The fall of 25 to open by 29. That seems reasonable. After the Twin Towers collapse video, is Building 7 coming next? Yeah, I'll do one on Building 7 as well. I mean, those videos, they're like a minefield. People are not going to be happy. But I don't know, Building 7, I'd have to really analyze it. I've seen some different angles of the collapse of it. Israel knows they're screwed in years to come. Bad optics. Zionist part showing the world their hypocrisy. Yeah, and I think they're looking for an off ramp, and they're going to get some territory recognized in the West Bank, and they're going to say that that's a win for them. I mean, what's going to happen to the Gaza Strip, though? There's going to be some type of two-state solution. It can't really involve Gaza. There still has to be a rebuilding process of the Strip. And so I think that's where the UAE comes in and the other Gulf states, and there'll be a rebuilding process. But apparently it's going to involve a two-state solution. That's what they said. Alligator Alcatraz, thank you for the $10 donation. I can't see the rest of your name because there's a frickin' crown in front of it. But I appreciate that. Here, let me take a look at this. Mumble. Mumble. Can you do a video about North Korea this month? I mean, maybe. Maybe I'll do something. I mean, they've got that very interesting hotel that they never finished, but I think I already did a video on that a while ago. That massive hotel. Russia has already annexed the 4 oblasts in the fall of 2022. Well, they don't control all of them. And, I mean, that you can annex any territory, but if you really don't control it, does it really matter? I mean, in the peace deal, it's going to lay out the exact territory they have. Just because it's under military administration, I mean, I'll agree with you, they definitely control Crimea. Building 6 is even more strange than Building 7. Yeah, I know. The way that you're talking about the crater. Looks like Musk is backing off. Nothing explosive in a day and a half. Well, did you hear what Musk said? He said, I could really say something about Trump, but I'm going to hold off for now. Who knows? The guy is unpredictable. Just over $2K to get your AC compressor replaced in your truck. Yeah, that's probably, there's no way I'm paying anywhere close to that. I would get a new car. I'm not paying 2K, but I don't think it's going to be 2K. Was your air not working at all? Did you have to get the entire thing replaced? Like, was air blowing out? Because air will blow out, it'll just be lukewarm. I don't think I really need a big, I don't need a big fix. I just need coolant or some bullshit like that. I don't know. If you ever out of video ideas, do an iceberg on July 13th. I mean, I don't know if that's an iceberg type thing. That might maybe just an interesting video talking about the oddities of it. The oddities of it. The oddities of July 13th. But I mean, at some point, there's going to have to be something that comes out on that, right? Like, Senate approves massive debt ceiling increase amid political turmoil. Yeah, J.D. Vance was the tie-breaking vote, so it was 50-50. It was 50-50. And now it's headed to the House. Another high-stake battle now looms. The bill must pass the House before heading to Trump's desk. GOP leaders racing to try and get the bill to the White House by the 4th of July. Thank you. Who is the our candidate for mayor of New York City? If he or she were a centrist, maybe Mondani isn't a lock. No, he's not a centrist. He would need to drop out, basically, because what we would want is, if you look at it, really Adams is the only one that has a chance. By the way, Cuomo also has to drop out, or I guess technically Cuomo was not in, but Cuomo may try and run as an independent like Adams. This is the Republican candidate. He's at 1%. Adams is at 18%. If Cuomo drops out, I would imagine Adams would probably go to like 25%. But the Republican would also have to drop out as well, and then it maybe be a 50-50 race. That's kind of how I see it. I don't know. But it's going to be hard either way, just because of how liberal NYC is. Do a video of you publicly endorsing Trump 2028. Come on, man. You got to stop with the Trump 2028 pet project. You got an obsession. You got to go spread your propaganda on another stream or something, man. Mm-hmm. AC was blowing warm air. Compressor had a leak. Recharging would just leak out all over again. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get that fixed if that's going to be cost me like $1,200. I'm not doing that. I mean, because it's less in my car than it would be a truck. It's if I have to replace the entire unit, it's not going to be $2,000, but it'd be like 1,200. I'd have to have them look at it. Honestly, it could be 300. It could be 1,200. I don't know. I really should have gotten it fixed a while ago. I thought I'd just get a new car. You know, you try and get a new car, it's like $30,000 for a decent car now. Even a car like a luxury sedan, lightly used, it's like 25,000. Even for that. Did you see the Obama leaked footage of him getting head on a yacht? What the fuck? Wait to wait till the big beautiful bill passes. Go buy an American-made car. Yeah, I'll definitely be buying a car at some point. I don't know when though. Buy a You know, Teslas are kind. I mean, I guess you now with the Teslas, their pricing is competitive. But the thing is I just don't like the way the sedans look. The sedans are too bulky. They look like humpback whales. The Teslas. I mean, when you're behind them, it's a bulky sedan. It's a bulky vehicle when you look at it. I mean, you know, it's got a great interior, I'm sure, and stuff, and certainly, I would love to have a luxury interior like that. But it's and they're competitive. I mean, at least from when I saw it, they're pretty competitive in terms of their pricing. But I guess maybe it's based off of that subsidy that potentially is going away. I don't know, how does that work? What is it? A $7,500 subsidy for every Tesla? Meaning you can get $7,500 off because you're buying electric, and it's going away. How's your weather right now? The weather is terrible. Even at night, it's terrible. At 9 or 10 o'clock, it's still terrible. No, it's just humid. It's constantly humid. It sometimes even when it thunderstorms, it doesn't necessarily get colder. I mean, it's a constant thing. You know, and again, it's the humidity, and the humidity really gets bad when it's like it doesn't even have to be raining, but when it's overcast out, that's when the humidity is really bad. What would you have done if you were above the impact zone on 9/11? Well, there's really nothing you can do. I mean, in the South Tower, you potentially could have escaped via one of the stairwells that was still intact. There's really nothing you can do though. I mean, obviously with the knowledge now, you would have to try and climb down it. I mean, that's really the only way. Ethereum decides to dip. It's constant. It's just constant, man. Yeah, I know. I saw the ceasefire that just got announced. I mean, here it is right here, the ceasefire. Austin, I appreciate it. You should go be a truck driver. You make good money. No, I don't need to do that, man. And then you donated the same thing. I don't know if you meant to do that, but I appreciate it. Jump and hope you land on the stairwell below. Yeah, that wouldn't be plausible. You wouldn't be able to do that. Like in the middle of the building, jump down. Yeah, I mean that is a potential, but that's like imagine trying to do parkour in like the open hole, but it's just too hot. No, there was just too much fire. You wouldn't be able to do it unless it was like a really just rare route where the fire hadn't reached. Me and Gene, I appreciate the $20 donation. Leave Trump alone for 2028. He's run 3 times. He's got America rocking again. Republicans don't run a populist successor. Shame on them. If Republicans don't run, yeah, no, I mean I agree. That dude's just obsessed with Trump 28. You know, it's a constant thing with him. Trump is old, and it's like we've already had him 3 elections now. So, and I understand. I mean, Trump is you know, people like Trump, and he's seemingly has the economy in a really good spot right now. Especially, I mean, could you? The other thing that I haven't really talked about is, you know, once this gets passed through, these tax cuts are going to be amazing. And I know people say, well, it'll add to the debt. But just in terms of the short term, these tax cuts are going to be amazing for the economy. They're going to be very, very good. And also, we're getting some other taxes. We're getting the remittance tax passed through. You don't think Israel did 9/11, but do you think they had prior knowledge and they did not let the United States know? Well, you watched my video yesterday, but I mean that doesn't really explain it. I mean, you know, with what you're saying, you're on the right track in terms of what you're saying. I think a lot of people knew, honestly. Are you going to watch Jurassic Park movie Take the Night Off? I didn't even know that Jurassic Park movie was out. I haven't even seen any of the Jurassic Park movies, honestly. I don't know. It was never my speed. That's kind of a that's a white thing to say. It was never my speed. I was 28 years later. It wasn't very good. It was kind of disappointing. I didn't like it. Oh, we got more anti-ice rioters. Took over Los Angeles Bridge. Getting ridiculous now. Yeah, it's just how much do we have to deal with this? I'm just sick of the rioters. I don't even care anymore. So did they add kicking illegals off of healthcare back? Yeah, I read they added it back. The Senate added it back. Happy Gilmore 2 thoughts. It's coming out on Netflix. I don't know, man. When it comes out on Netflix, I don't get too excited when a movie comes out on Netflix. There have been some good movies that came out on Netflix, but yeah, I mean, it's Happy Gilmore is a classic for sure, the original. But I don't know about this. I don't know about the second one. Tesla Model Y. You have a Tesla Model Y. What about the Model S? Robert, thank you. Big beautiful bill allows writing off interest if car is made in USA. Yeah, no, that's good. They should add things like that. They should encourage domestic buying domestically. Will Vance want to keep gutting the deep state if he wins? I mean, is Trump really gutting the deep state? It's hard to even tell. I mean, I guess they got rid of USAID, but people are waiting for the arrests of people and stuff. I don't know, man. It always seems like that stuff gets overpromised when it comes to like any type of criminal trials on people that they want. Trump on if migrant escapes, they'll just get eaten by wildlife. I guess that's the concept. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, it seems like this was developed within the past week. I mean, I never even heard of Alligator Alcatraz until this past week. You're in the shower. I don't know how are you in the shower? It's your your phone is water resistant. Assaults on ice up 700%. Well, of course, because there was no ice enforcement last year. There's no ice enforcement. So, of course, they're going to be up 700%. A child savings account is great. Your daughter won't have Social Security. Yeah, especially the newer. Yeah, if you have a young child, the chances of them having Social Security based on the structure of it by whenever they get old is very slim. So you give them $1,000. That's what it is at birth, and you put it in an account. What is it? Invested into the S&P, the Nasdaq, something like that. Trump said no deal by July. Yeah, I saw that. July 9th with Japan. They'll take 30 to 35% tariffs. U.S. markets will not move. Well, yeah, I saw that. I don't know. I mean, it depends how much trade we do with Japan. So we're going to hit him with a 30% tariff, I guess, if that's the case. I don't know. Trump was bitching about Japan not buying our rice, and I guess they're having kind of a fractured relationship in terms of negotiations. So they might just hit. I mean, Trump did say that we were just going to start assigning tariffs on these countries. I think Trump is trying to see how much he can get away with. So he's probably going to start going a little bit more aggressive. I mean, you do have to be careful with it. But to me, I think Trump is interpreting it as, well, I have 10% global tariffs and 30% tariffs on China, and the inflation is not affected. So, let's see if we can push it a little bit. When the media says millions will lose Medicaid in the big, beautiful bill, who is that really referring to? That would be referring to specifically people that are able-bodied, that are not currently working right now, but they're able-bodied and they don't have a dependent. And there's other clauses into it as well. But it's basically, they're trying to get more people to work. And then you're also the illegals, which I think is more popular than the able-bodied one. Are we getting the bull run summer? It might. I think it's gonna be the fall, man. I think it's probably gonna be the fall, hopefully. But you just gotta wait. You just gotta wait for it. It'll happen. That's why my portfolio. I condensed my portfolio down to about 6 or 7 different coins, and so whatever happens, I mean, you have to just hold. That's it. Illegals and able-bodied workers. Well, isn't it people that are able-bodied but aren't working? Exactly, able-bodied people sitting at home getting free healthcare. Yeah, and then they try and manipulate it and say, well, they have dependents and they're caretakers. They try all this shit, but it's like at some point we have to try and save money somewhere. And the entitlements are the number one way we can try and save money. But the entire entitlement structure has to be looked at. There's tons of fraud in it. Look at the healthcare industry. Look at the insurance companies. It's just terrible. But you can't even look at any of it without them saying, "Oh, they're getting rid of everyone's healthcare. They're getting rid of everyone's Medicare, Medicaid." I'll go to a Trump clip, I guess. People will die, kids will go hungry. Truck Schumer on Trump passing it.
No inflation. Our country's strong. Our interest rate should be 3 points lower. If our interest rate was 3 points lower, that's almost $1 trillion in cost. And it's done just by the signing of a pen. But we have a moron at the head of the Fed. He's a moron.
Speaking of Jay Powell, do you have a top choice?
I do. I have 2 or 3 top choices. Actually. No. You almost got me there.
Right. So obviously one of the top choices is Besant. You wonder how much pressure they're going to be putting on Powell to try and get him out, because technically his term is over in May of 2026, but it seems like they're really pressuring him to leave earlier. They're either pressuring for a rate cut or for him to leave. We'll see which one happens if either of them happen. But he's got to know. Long time, eh? What's up, man? You don't want Besant as Fed chair. You want him right where he is. Yeah, no, I hear ya. He could find another loyalist to do it, but it is a problem in terms of if you have someone that's a Trump loyalist. You do deal with an issue at a certain point if they are just doing whatever Trump tells them. If they go down to 1% interest rates, I think that's a bit of a problem. You can't do that. But I think right now 2.5% would be fashionable. 2% would be fashionable. Gulf of America. Yeah, he's got a Gulf of America hat on.
President Obama was a terrible president. President Biden was the worst president in the history of our country. President Bush should not have gone into the Middle East and blown the place up. So I don't give him high marks either. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. I give Trump very high marks. Goodbye, everybody.
So Trump gives his take on previous presidents. Laura Trump, first choice for Senate in North Carolina. Can't believe Schumer said people will die because of Big Beautiful Bill, and people believe it. Well, it's because of the cuts that I just talked about to Medicaid. But he's obviously sensationalizing it. It's all garbage. Mean Gene, I appreciate it. Powell was asked if not for Trump's tariffs, would they have been lowered already? He said yes. We don't have any tariff inflation. No, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, I saw another garbage. I'm just done with it with liberals. I can't do it anymore. these people, it's just like this constant just days and just there's an inability to understand metrics and inflation rates. It's like they still continue, and I'm not going to do it anymore because there's no point. But they're like, well, who is paying? Trump raised $20 billion in tariff revenue. Who's paying for it? Well, if you think the consumers are paying for it, why is it not reflective in the inflation rate? But I'm done doing it. It's so stupid. They say the same thing. It is not affected. It's not impacted in the inflation rate. Why do you think we're demanding rate cuts? So hopefully it comes. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, dude, that Trump talked about reopening actual Alcatraz. I'm not sure that's a realistic option. I heard the foundation of Alcatraz was sinking and it would cost too much money to renovate. Bongino arrested 2 people today. Elijah, I appreciate it. $5. The joke is people pretend like there was any word where Democrats wouldn't be crying if this was the worst thing ever, no matter what Trump's bill was. Especially a bill this massive. They were always going to say it's the worst thing ever, of course. But Trump is really going for, I mean, we are going to have an amazing situation because, of the extended tax cuts and agree about Alcatraz. You've been there? Yeah, I've been to Alcatraz when I went to San Francisco, but that was like 11 years ago. I went there. It's the tourist location. You go out on a boat to Alcatraz, and yeah, the place. I mean, even 10 years ago, it was obviously very run down, and the warden's office was burned down. They said it was an arson attack. I don't know if that was Alcatraz or maybe another prison, but they were giving us the history on it, and you go into the blocks, the cell blocks. It's a very unique prison, but the feasibility of it seems, you would have to go. I actually think he talked about conceptual work started 6 months ago. Yeah, I don't know, man. I guess it just depends how much it would cost. We need a super jail in northern Alaska or Greenland to put the really bad ones away. Yeah, well, they have the super maximum security prison in I think it's Florence or something like that in Colorado. So that's a major one. But yeah, you want to have one that's further away from the population, maybe. Although I don't know. I mean, you're not breaking out of a maximum security prison nowadays with how they're designed. Do you think the big beautiful bill will be passed? It'll be passed through, yeah. Yeah, it'll be passed through probably within the next 2 or 3 days, I would imagine. But eventually, it'll be passed through. I believe it's an inevitability at this point.
want to go to every Republican state. Now, of course, in a sane country, Democrats would do it too, but they love the illegals. They hate the Americans. We want every governor of a red state, and if you're watching tonight, pick up the phone, call DHS, work with us to build facilities in your state so that we can get the illegals out, we can get the criminals out. And also, very importantly, Laura, we need Congress to pass the big, beautiful bill which contains the funding that ICE desperately needs to carry out the mass deportation agenda.
Now, we reach out to other states, Stephen, and a lot of them are open to helping. Alaska told us that we don't have alligators, but we have lots of bears. However, they aren't aware of any plans for an Alaska version.
You said, did you see that Chuck Schumer tried to get the name of the bill changed right before they voted? He tried to sneak it in. No, I didn't see that. The name, it's called the Big Beautiful Bill. He tried to change the name like that. To what? To what? Total revenue, total spending. This was financial year 23. Wow, it was under 2 trillion. Yeah, it's about 2 trillion now. Man, Social Security is such a massive. Which honestly, that we get Social Security, we tax it, but then because we don't have enough workers, we don't get enough money. But Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, defense spending, that's basically it. And then interest payments. If we were to lose Senate House in 26, would the Trump presidency be cooked? Well, it'd be very hard for Trump to get anything through if we lost both, especially with the TDS. Even logical bills would probably fail, anything that was Trump wanted passed. But I don't see this any chance of them losing the Senate. Very low. Don't deport innocent people. Build a better border to prevent people from coming in. Well, no, I mean, they're deporting illegals. I mean, that's the point. Obviously, they're here illegally, so they can be deported. They've already secured the border, and I think they're within this bill. It's also they're finishing the wall finally, in terms of the construction. Schumer changed it to the Act. Have no idea. Just called the Act. Yeah, I mean, nobody's going to call it the Act, though. I mean, there's a lot of acts. People will just continue to call it the bill. Yeah, what about this? Have you guys seen this going around? This is like an online thing. But you've got Mondani eating rice with his hands. Like nobody does this. This is not proper etiquette on how you eat.
So the third holy grail of...
You go to Chipotle, you get like rice in a bowl, and then you eat. Like, nobody does that. And then they try and say, but look at Trump. He's eating French fries with his hands. He's eating pizza with his hands. Like, that's the same thing as eating fucking rice like a baby with your hands. It's just such a cope, false equivalency. Why is everyone obsessed with Trump getting the Nobel Peace Prize? It's so cringe. How about we fix America before putting him on Mount Rushmore and giving him medals? Conservatives so obsessed with optics. Lazy. No, I mean, I know nobody really... Look, we're saying if Trump does a great job, I mean, there's going to be awards for him. But I said Trump needs to finish out and really solve these situations. But I mean, if he's able to solve everything, I mean, you have to give him stuff. I don't really care personally, but I know people wanna, they want it. I know, they're comparing eating pizza with your hands to eating rice. Who the fuck scoops rice with their fingers? What the And then they compare that to eating pizza. Yeah, no shit, you eat pizza with your hands. What, are you gonna cut fucking pizza? Some people were saying they cut pizza. I mean, come on, that's pussy. You don't fucking cut pizza. But, I mean, with rice, you're gonna need to use utensils. Yeah, I mean, I mean, obviously it's not acceptable, but they're trying to do a false equivalency now, and it makes it look worse. Would you visit the Titanic now if given the opportunity? In a submersible, I don't think so. I mean, I'm not a big fan of going down that deep in the ocean with the pressure. Not because of the Titan situation, but that's a very long process going down, and the Titanic is in such terrible shape right now. That would require multiple days to do. It's like a huge event. Titanic's in terrible shape. Thoughts on Bannon going off on Musk? Yeah, I mean they don't like each other, obviously. Musk said that Bannon was going to go back to jail. Bannon has said that the government should take SpaceX. I mean, I don't really care. Either way. Israel agrees to ceasefire terms, final deal set. Hamas must accept it before things get worse. And we'll see if they accept it. Do you have a PO box? No, I don't. And you're obviously a troll, man. Anyways, it's like I'm not giving you a PO box. Three most annoying Dems. Jasmine Crockett, I would say. I mean, you could go with the mainstream ones. Crockett, AOC would be the top two. Just because they're the ones that you hear from the most. Newsom is probably up there just because of how weaselly he is. But I mean, those are like the top Democrats in general. Can you play the Warren clip? Elizabeth Warren? Elizabeth Warren, you could say, is annoying, but she's kind of been irrelevant recently. I haven't heard a ton from her. Do you think Mondani will win? Yeah, I mean, if nothing changes, I think he's probably going to win. Would you hear the pros and cons of the big beautiful bill? Well, I like the remittance tax. I'd like it to be higher, but the remittance tax is good. The amount of money going for the border the investment into ICE is good, so hopefully there'll be more deportations. There's also about $20 billion going to refinement of rare earths in the United States that we need to diversify away from China. That's good. I mean, I'm not a big fan of... I am a fan of the Golden Dome. I think it's a good idea. It makes sense. But, you know, raising the military budget $150 billion, that's something that's not great. The tax cuts were always going to happen. Renewing the 2017 tax cuts and then adding other tax cuts. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. And that's going to help the economy. Adam Schiff. Yeah, but he's kind of irrelevant now. You would say Maxine Waters is annoying, but her clips are so funny. Yeah, she's 2 different times she's been locked out of places. That's... Remember the time the one dude stood in the way, the bald dude? She was trying to get in. Don't see any longevity for Jasmine Crockett. Just be another... Yeah, I don't see any either for her. You know, I think it's mainly... she's a symptom of the Democrats and how broken they are right now. You know, their party is at some point going to... They're going to have to rebuild it, and, yeah, they're going to have the midterms next year. But, you know, they were just a broken party, and so anyone that's obnoxious enough to go against Trump was going to get a spotlight for him. Most likes on a stream. I mean, my most likes on a stream would be the election night stream, just by far. No, definitely blacks and Latinos went to Cuomo. Isn't it crazy how that worked out? Tariff derangement syndrome. Yeah, we got the 50 basis point. We got the 0.5 cut. That is true. 0.5 cut in September. Inflation's lower. And it's been maintained lower. MTG boyfriend clip? What is that?
Hi, Brian.
How you doing, man? Doing all right?
Ron, this is the boyfriend, very lucky, of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, really?
You
Works for who?
He works for...
Real American Boy. Oh, okay, good.
You think it's easy being with Marjorie?
She I can take some heat?
She was working out pretty hard this
Yes,
weekend.
she was, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
So again, Mr. President, this is...
She was working out pretty hard. Fourth of July plans. I don't have any plans, man. Christy Nome. Well, they named a rocket after MTG. Love your channel. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it. An AI create. This is an AI girl. 140K followers on Instagram. And it's kind of obvious too. Imagine calling a dude you knowingly let your son hang out with it. Yeah, but Musk, I don't really think. Musk is like on a different level in terms of, you know, his ability to be a parent. He doesn't really give a fuck. I mean, he has all these different kids, and it's all like it's more like a system to him. Do you think they can reform the entitlements, or should we just basically gut it all and start over? Well, it's too seeped in with the entitlements, are just especially Medicare and Medicaid. There's just too much fraud involved with the insurance companies. So it's too seeped into it, and I'm not sure it can really be reformed that way without totally redoing it. Social Security, I mean, Social Security is unfortunately going to run out because we don't have enough workers. So they'll have to change the way that the Social Security system works. I mean, it's inevitable. Otherwise, people are going to get like 70% of their Social Security. So, but they're going to kick that can down the road, I think, as long as they can, which would be 2033. So what would it be, a big thing? Maybe it'll be a big thing in the 2028 election. I don't know. But you have to wonder, because it's like, you touch Social Security, people scream. You can't touch any of you can't touch Medicare, Medicaid, I mean, they are technically trying to do something with Medicaid. Medicare costs more to service it, but I think it's pretty cool. Besant punched Elon. Well, I mean, Elon, like, freaking, apparently, like, shoulder checked him, and then he punched him after that. Hamas will reject the ceasefire. Did they reject it already? I thought it was sent to them, but I had heard that both Israel and Hamas wanted a ceasefire. Whether or not this will be, you know, what they deem fair, I don't know. Girth. What's up, man?
Campaign for fiscal restraint, yet voted for the big, beautiful bill. He is furious for a lot of reasons, but is mostly citing the failure to rein in costs and spending. Your reaction to this tonight?
Well, this is the largest spending cut, Laura, in American history. Think about what's in this bill. The largest tax cut and reform in American history. The largest spending cut in American history. The largest welfare reform in American history. the largest reduction in federal spending ever achieved in a single bill, and then it also includes the most robust, comprehensive border security and immigration enforcement package we've ever seen, one that will allow us to deport millions upon millions of invaders. To oppose this bill is to support the invasion. To oppose this bill is to support the continued giveaways and freebies to cheaters and scam artists. To oppose this bill is to support a 68% tax hike on the American public, and it's also to oppose this bill is to support a deprivation of all of the tax benefits that President Trump is fighting to deliver the middle class, like no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. The Senate passed this bill just today, demonstrating that they are fighting for President Trump. They are fighting for his agenda. They are not going to listen to an outside voice that does not represent the interests of the American people or the interests of the Republican Party. And the House is going to rally behind President Trump to pass this bill for America.
Mean Gene, I appreciate it, man. Both Bush and Clinton 20, 30 years ago wanted to adjust Social Security and Medicare. The media and Dems went nuts. Nothing happened. Yeah, well, it's a lot more meaningful now because of the timing of it. The fact that it's going to run out. They call it the trust fund, whatever you want to call it. It's going to run out. So they're going to have to realize something's going to have to be done. When will the House get the bill? I believe it's been sent back to the House. When the exact day is, I can't tell you. I mean, you could say maybe the 3rd or the 4th. I think they want to do it the 4th because it's symbolic. Yeah, Musk will launch his new party on the 4th of July. I think the bill is going to be on Trump's desk on the 4th, if I had to guess. But it's early July. It already passed Einstein. Well, it passed the Senate. Now it has to go back to the House because they made revisions on it. The House, it's going to happen. It's inevitable, but we just, you just got to allow for the House to pass it again. How fast will we get no tax on overtime when we pass the bill? I believe it's in the bill. But you're saying when will that actually start? If you work overtime, when will that start? I don't know. It'll probably be a little bit of time before it actually starts. Before you actually get to, the no tax. Yeah, the Brook Park Browns, I saw that. Yeah, they're not going to change their name or anything, but, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It's just, it's so many of these teams. So many of these teams doing the same thing. It looks like Arlington Heights for the Bears as well. So those are two situations that are eerily similar. And they both go to domes. I think the NFL is going to be it's going to be just very bland with the way that they're trending with all these domes. Huh. John, yeah. I knew someone would have to correct it, so might as well just say it. It's easier. But there's also a lag on this stream, so sometimes I'll say it and then someone corrects it at the same time. This is low latency. I had it on ultra low latency, but now I changed it to low latency because my Wi-Fi kept disconnecting. Thoughts on Jasmine? Nah, that's not a good one. What do they call it? The Chinese Bitcoin? Yeah, I would say stay away from it. Very high market cap, older. Stay away. future of Arrowhead Stadium. I think they're going to get a dome as well. I believe they'll probably get a dome as well, the Chiefs. Arrowhead's probably going to go bye-bye. I mean, we'll see. They're trying to keep it. They're trying to keep it with a renovation package. You don't think they will get it passed by Friday? Well, it depends. Depends how quickly they work. Dude, this Russian dude, nobody's saying Trump should be on Mount Rushmore. You're overreacting. I never said Trump should be on Mount Rushmore, bro. You're projecting now. There's nothing wrong with Arrowhead. Well, there certainly are things wrong with it. Whether or not, the exterior of it, it does need a renovation. Now they can renovate it, but obviously the ownership is going to want a dome. Is Ethereum coin still good? Yeah, Ethereum. It's. I mean, you want to use it as silver. Yeah, you buy it instead of silver. It'll probably do better than silver. I don't even know if it will, honestly. Bro, it's like, come on, man. I don't even know the point. You want to answer who would I tag team? It's like, WNBA is expanding. Meanwhile, their only growth has come from their star player they all hate. Horrible. I hate the WNBA. I don't want to hear from it again. It's terrible. Entitled women who are held up by Caitlin Clark. And how are they expanding now? Now we have to hear more from it? How are they expanding? And then these entitled women, they're like, oh, we don't want it in Detroit or Cleveland. Bitch, shut up. I just hate the WNBA. But I don't even pay attention to it. It's just constantly on the, on my timeline. Most valuable franchise is supposedly $400 million in the WNBA. It's probably whatever LA team would do. It's fucking $400 million is nothing compared to these other sports. But look, yeah, they're building it for one player. How are you going to expand because of one player? You think that's sustainable? Then they just get subsidized by the NBA. If it fails, it's like they can't fail because looking at comments on your video on the Twin Towers collapse not being controlled, there were some people saying Mossad got him. Yeah, Israel sent me a strongly... The IDF sent me a strongly lettered email after that dancing Israelis video, so I had to repay it. You wouldn't pay $20 for an entire NBA franchise, let alone $400 million. Yeah, they're getting the values. They're overvaluing all of it because of one player now. I don't even know. It's probably the LA team is worth $400 million because it's in LA, and what are even the ratings on the games not involving Caitlin Clark? They can't be good. You know, the WNBA, they play 30 games all season. Their regular season is, what is it, 30 games long? It might even be like 26 games long. It's nothing. Your vid wasn't bad. Yeah, I don't really see how it's, you know, those people that say that it was controlled, it just seems like an argument that's just not true at all. Don't think the Israel-Iran conflict is over by a long shot. Yeah, it'd certainly be hard to say it's over because Iran still has enriched uranium. For that simple reason, it's hard to say it's over. They've got, you know, at least 60% enriched uranium. They just can't let go of the theory. Yeah, but I mean, go ahead, watch the video, and then tell me. You need to explain to me. So you think this is the thing. So you think they laced explosives right next to where the planes were gonna hit? That's how it would have to be. So how does the wall cave in? How does the wall of the South Tower cave in, and that initiates the collapse? You know, that's the floor sag, the structural integrity, and it caves in right at the impact zone. See, it's like, go ahead and try and explain that to where it's yeah, some of these commoners are 12 years old. I know, I understand. And we got a few of them again tonight. The planes were CGI. There you go. That's realistic. I heard that one. You're 16? Yeah, I know. No, I'm just... They never saw a plane and only heard explosion. Come on, man. Dude. So you think this... You like the CGI theory? Piers Morgan challenged Jake Paul to a fight? Really? Yeah, I heard that was going to be the undercard to Rogan against Liver King. Wait, so when is Liver King fighting Rogan? I thought that was because Liver King called out Rogan, and then Rogan said you're not on, you know. He said you're a fake, you're on steroids, you're a horrible person, and so then Liver King challenged Rogan to a fight. The planes being CGI one genuinely had a small amount of people that believe that. Yeah, no, I know. I understand that small amount of people believe it. But there's no point of even addressing that one because it's an insane thing to address. I mean, Liver King is fighting Rogan. Yeah, he challenged him to a fight, and then Rogan got a restraining order against him. I mean, this is where we're at with this just chronic internet usage. Yeah, I understand if you watch old interviews, there's a lot of witnesses. You know, eyewitnesses' accounts are very... Well, with something like that, it doesn't even matter because we can see the planes. But just in general, eyewitnesses' accounts are very flimsical. Greenland will be a 2-point conversion after the big, beautiful bill. What if Trump just had in fine print a clause that called for the annexation of Greenland, and like Chuck Schumer is trying to read it like with binoculars. He's trying to read the fine print, and it's just like we will annex Greenland, and they end up signing off on it. That would be the best thing. You support a bill to annex the moon, make the moon... Yeah, we should have a moon base for sure. Griffin Station. Now we should have... I mean, although I don't know if there's a... I don't know if it's worth the money. I guess if the moon has mining potential. The weather in New Jersey has been awful. Yeah, the weather here has been really bad, but just in terms of humidity, not necessarily rain. We really haven't gotten a lot of rain recently. Should we invest in more transit infrastructure or do a second interstate highway act? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of highways in general. I mean, they're needed for sure, but infrastructure in cities, I do like I like the certain ideas from the eastern countries like the high-speed rails and stuff, but it becomes a problem because a lot of our citizens can't treat public transportation properly, and I would be cool to design a city with a lot of it underground, a lot of the transportation underground, tunnels underground. I mean, Musk has that company. You got to give it to Musk. I mean, that is a very smart thing. I think it's called the Boring Company, where they drill tunnels underground, and that's how they alleviate traffic. I mean, that seems obvious. That's what should happen. I mean, most of the heavy traffic should be underground. Remember the bust in Big Dig? Nobody wants to look at fucking highways. Do you think Flight 93 was going to the White House or Capitol building? And if so, do you think there was a fifth plane that would have hit one? Titans, I'll answer that in a second. Sean, I appreciate it. The whale. The orca enters. The 50 bomb. The whale enters. Do you think that Flight 93 was going for the White House or the Capitol? I think it was going probably for the Capitol, if I had to guess on one of the two. And then if there was a fifth plane, that would have hit the one. I don't. The timing of it probably wouldn't have worked. The timing of it wouldn't have worked. The fifth plane would go potentially to one of them would go to the White House, the other one would go to the Capitol, I would imagine. Yeah, I made several videos on that Bojanka plot. I've already made videos on it. You can look it up. Israel-Hamas ceasefire by July 15th. Wow, so I guess Hamas actually isn't going to accept it. If it's only got a 38% chance. I guess we'll see. Uh, Any updates on success of Iran bombings? I haven't heard much recently. I mean, I think they destroyed all their centrifuges. They moved some of the uranium. A lot of the uranium, I do believe, probably was still within Fordo, just because it's their most fortified area. But they moved some of it, probably something like that. And all the centrifuges were destroyed, and now it just comes down to wherever they moved their uranium. Apparently, they're already starting to rebuild. But God knows how long that'll take. Will China beat us to the moon now? I think it was actually India. So remember when India landed like a rover or something on the moon? Like maybe 5 months ago? At the time is just maybe like a year ago. I remember that. But I don't know. Is China planning something? How is there only a 16% chance? That's all charges. So that's a big distinction. That's all charges. Guilty. So he might be guilty of most, but not all. No prison time at 10% chance. 20 to 30 years, 10 to 20 years. When is crypto actually going up? Whenever Ethereum starts pumping. We need the alts to pump. I mean, I would imagine it's got to happen soon, man. It's got to happen within the next 6 months. Within the next 6 months, because now it's the 7th month of the year. Within the next 6 months. Been a fan for a while, just came back. Thank you. I appreciate that donation, Dominic. Didn't the BBC reporter say the South Tower collapsed before it actually happened? Weird, but probably incompetent. No. Building 7. They said Building 7 collapsed before it did. Remember, Building 7 collapsed at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Both of the towers had fallen in the morning. And then Building 7, which was... It was part of the complex, but it was on the exterior of the complex. If you look at an aerial shot of the complex, you get, both Buildings 1 and 2, the skyscrapers. Building 3, like, nestled in between at the corner, which was the hotel. And then 4, 5, and 6 were just smaller buildings. And then 7 was on, like, the outside of the inner box of the complex. Number of trade deals made before. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a ton, honestly. They got that big deal done with China. I think they're going to get a deal done with India. But I can't tell you, like, they're going to get deals done with South Korea and all these. Because Trump is now saying he's just going to tell certain countries the tariff, and that's going to be it. And it's not really going to be a deal. The thing is, even we agree with these deals, there's still going to be, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some type of deal with the European Union as well, though. But, these deals are also going to include tariffs staying on. Probably the 10% rate, maybe more. Mossad is going to be in Iran getting intel, updates on radiation levels, movement of radioactive elements. Yeah, I know. But the thing is they want to, they want a regime change. So you wonder if you can trust them on what they say. I'm sure they're going to fearmonger about it. Someone told me they brought down Building 7 because it was unsafe for the public and it was already a mess. Yeah, Building 7's an interesting one. Just the time of which it fell, and there were definitely fires on the interior of it, but even if you're not a conspiracy theorist, it has to raise some red flags when it's the first skyscraper to fall, via the just the pure fire, the interior fires. It's just, and just the way it fell was very suspect. Outside of like the top part, I mean, maybe I'll do a video on that next. I don't know. I think that's one where people would get really angry. Building 7, because a lot of people think for sure, it had to have been controlled. Will BTC hit 150K? Yeah, I think that's very realistic. BTC 150K. I mean, what's its high right now? 112? Something like that. I think it'll hit 150. 150 to 170. I think people might say that's a little bit of a bust, but I mean, that would be good because that would be an infusion. The alts would have to follow to a degree. I mean, the alt dominance is so low. It's unfortunate right now. Why are they called buildings? Well, technically, they're not even called. That's what they're assigned. I mean, the building 3 was a Marriott hotel. Building 1 is a One World Trade Center. Are you a black coffee guy? No, I don't really like coffee, man. Maybe I could get back into it. I used to drink coffee. Not a ton, but Sam, I appreciate the $10. You said the main meetup was this July 4th. Yeah, we're actually meeting up to counter the liberal protests. I'm actually having a rally at night. We're gonna have a massive rally. Ever do a video game stream? There's no point. We get very low views. Seems as if all the pro-Israel influencers are trying to hype white people to fight, get rid of Muslims in America. Well, I mean, look, when it comes to something like that, we're not a fan of the Middle Eastern stuff. It's just like, in terms of the issue, I mean, yeah, Mondani, nobody wants a socialist to win. Nobody wants somebody from Uganda to control New York City. Although control is kind of a fear-mongering word. I mean, you're the mayor, but Black Ops videos. Yeah, I gotta make another one of those. I'll make one some point. Buy the most expensive camera. You have no other expenses. Well, I had to buy a $1,400 PC. I had to buy $150. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton of expenses. You're correct. You're correct. I should buy a new webcam. Is there a great webcam for $500? Can I get just an HD webcam for $500? Is that possible? Yeah, guys, like the stream. Best pizza in Ohio? I don't know. I mean, Antonio's is pretty good. We don't really have a ton of pizza places, at least in this area, that are not chains. OBS cam link 4K. I'll look it up. Link 4K. I mean, what, $300? That's not bad. And I'm sure it's good. I'm sure it's good. Imagine I mean, if it's 4K tracking quality, but why is there a big? It's like it's got a big base. Is it gonna? Well, how do you connect it on your fucking computer monitor? Awesome stream, Colton. I appreciate it, man. Have you heard about the July 4th protest? Yeah, I have. They're doing the same thing. I mean, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter. You know, they did the No Kings. They said it's the biggest protest ever. Nobody cares. How hot would a girl be for you? I'm not even sure what that means. It's the OBS bot, not OBS link. The webcam you have now is pretty good. Yeah, no, I'm looking at it right now. It's $300. The webcam I have right now, I feel like is pretty subpar, honestly, if I had to say. I mean, it's definitely there's no any like lag or anything. It's really good in terms of that, but the quality is a bit grainy. You know, when you look at other people's, the quality, especially if I went full screen with my webcam, it would be really grainy. So I think if I get this, maybe this will be all I need. But who knows? I mean, it's like I get these webcams, and then you have to fuck with all the settings and stuff, and oh, New York Buckeye, appreciate it. $50, go Buckeyes. Yeah, what about that first game? That's an unfortunate game against Texas at noon. I thought they were gonna get a night game. It's disappointing. New York Whale. New York Whale. Zero chance Oklahoma's winning the title, man. They have a good big non-conference game against Michigan this year, though. Oklahoma does. There's your money for the new webcam. Yeah, I want to see the quality. I'm gonna have to look on YouTube to see how the quality is. But you know, they always say the quality's great, and then I hook it up and it's. But I mean, this webcam was $200, or yeah, $200. So I upgrade to a $300 one, maybe $400 one. There's never going to be a Fort Knox situation. It's not happening. It's not coming, man. You have the best defensive line in the country. Who, Oklahoma? Yeah, you got a defensive coach. You've got a defensive coach. Well, let's see. Let's see how it's doing. Let's see if there's genuinely anything that's good. Stock coin. Like, dude, it's all the same bullshit. Like, they always have... Damn, how did this coin even... They must have really... They must have CTO'd the hell out of that thing. North Korean stock market? You're joking. Nvidia retarded stock? See, the thing is with all these Solana shitters are just... I like going to the... I like just doing Ethereum coins. The America Party. Yeah, this is an interesting thing what happened here. So... You know, Elon talked about the America Party, like, I don't know, launching it or whatever. So they make the coin. This was back when, you know, Musk was having his tirade, his temper tantrum, the original temper tantrum. So he was like, we'll make the America Party. Then supposedly they made up, and it went all the way down in market cap to like 200K. Then he says he's launching it again. Now it goes back up. Grok 4? Yeah, I missed that one. Where is it at? Oh, it's only at 270. Oh, no, this is the other one. Yeah, this is the other one at 273. They have two different Grok 4s. The one that I was gonna... The one was at like 100K forever. Now it's at 500 almost. Did like a 7 or 8x. It's kind of crazy how underfunded the 9/11 Commission report was. Was there a justification for it? Well, they wanted to sweep it under the rug. They wanted to sweep it under the rug. They didn't even, you know, the testimonies of W. Bush and Cheney were private. They didn't let anyone see. You weren't even allowed to take notes. The commission report was a joke. It didn't solve a single thing. Yeah, no, I agree with you on that about the debates. It's the debates are very hard to watch. You know, the thing that I realize with debates is they just end up arguing the definition of words. And so it's like, what are we watching? We're watching like, it's like, why not just bring in a Merriam-Webster expert and so you can agree on the definition of something and then you can get to the actual argument? Is that not something we should start doing with these debates? If they can't agree on the definition and the whole fucking debate is just the... I saw the Candace Owens thing. She was debating this girl and, you know, these liberal accounts are like, oh, this girl ate Candace. And it's like, what? You know, it's all these feminists who are in denial about their lifestyle and feminism and just the fact that it's... I mean, why is feminism needed now? I mean... You've got 5K XRP. If it goes to $100, yeah, I don't think it'll go to XRP. I don't think it'll go to $100. Did they ever get the MFer who killed Waltz, who killed people in Waltz? Yeah, that dude's a weirdo. They got him. He's like they were trying to say he's a Republican. I don't think he was a Republican. I think he's just a weirdo. You know, he worked on like a bipartisan board or something. What happened to Ian Carroll? He became Candace Owens like shop bitch. And now he sits in the cuck chair next to Owens when they do podcasts, I think. You're asking about Tim Pool wearing a beanie in the summer heat? Yeah, I don't know. He shouldn't wear it. I mean, it's not a very festive look. He says he wears it because it's he says it's a caricature or something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean when you wear it inside of pools and when you go underwater and you're still wearing it, that's not good. What are your thoughts on the bill? Most important aspects? Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about the funding of the border. I'm happy about funding of deporting immigrants, the remittance tax, the campaign promises that Trump is keeping, the Medicare or not Medicare, Medicaid cuts, if that's true, if they actually go through. I know there's some speculation that they were taken out. What do you think about Hassan Abi? He's cosplaying as a socialist, I guess. It's very noble. There's going to be a massive 4th of July parade in Washington, D.C. on Friday, right? You haven't heard Trump talk about it, but you assume he would attend. Yeah, I think they're doing something for the celebration. I think it's starting in Des Moines on the 3rd and then probably D.C. or something. I don't know. I don't know the exact city where Trump's going to be, but there's going to be some type of celebration. I believe it's going to be public. I think with these if I was Trump, wouldn't it be a good idea to have massive rallies? I mean, I feel like that'd be a good idea to have massive rallies where you're giving speeches and stuff and talking. I mean, this is good propaganda, but he really hasn't done one maybe since. I mean, I guess the parade that they had. You already did the Q&A video? No, I never did that yet. I gotta do it probably one night. You hope he does the 250-year fair. Yeah, it wasn't like a yearly long celebration or something. US 250 parades next year. Madison Square Garden rally was huge. We need more. Yeah, I mean, Trump's public speaking ability. I think there does become a point when it gets rambly. I guess it depends how long he goes. You think you'll do another Trump must video? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like when I implore Trump to try and do something. I never really do those. Yeah, I don't know what it would be for. You like the big outdoor rallies? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We don't need another former Nazi rallying hall. Well, I mean, there's a lot of different politicians had massive rallies, not just Adolf Hitler. You can't not have rallies because Hitler had rallies, but they definitely had some huge rallies. The Nazis, they'd have their major rallies in Nuremberg in September. You don't mind Trump rambling? I think when you're being an orator, it's important to, every word should have a distinct power to it, I think, when you're speaking, but that is a very hard thing to do. It's hard to speak like that. Very hard. Is Candace too deep in the grift? I mean, yeah, the dude, it just becomes the anti-Israel thing. Just everything is. I mean, that's another thing with Mondani. You see, they're all trying to praise Mondani for being based because he said he wouldn't visit Israel. Are you kidding me? You think that's why he won? Seriously? People are done with Israel. That's why Mondani won. You know the demographic that voted for Mondani? That's not what happened at all. That is not what happened at all. They voted for him because he's a fucking socialist and they don't. It's a bunch of white kids with guilt. You think Trump would ever go back to Butler, Pennsylvania? Well, he already did go back. He went back during the election. They went back with Musk. You mean again? Yeah, I mean, it's the fact that he already went back once. I don't know if he would do it again. I mean, I guess you could. Confused about the comments on your new 9/11 video. Well, I mean, I don't control that. I don't know. I don't know what comments are. Comments are basically saying you're compromised because you no longer believe in the demolition theory. Well, I never believed in that theory. I don't know. They thought I believed in it. I never believed in that theory. I never said I believed in that theory. So I don't know where they're getting that from. These people, they're coping. They don't realize that my argument, I mean, I can see on video, if they want to try and prove me wrong, that's fine. They can go do it. It's a nonsensical argument to try and argue against me on that because it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense when you look at it. Look, and the thing is whatever, one way or another, people develop this thing to where they either have to support Israel or they hate Israel. It's just like I look at it and it is what it is. It's whatever my eyes tell me. Sam, thank you. I'm turning into an Israeli state-run media. I appreciate that. Watching Dems compare 2028 Olympics to 1936 Olympics. Right. Right, in Berlin. And then they hosted the Winter Olympics, the Nazis did. A lot of people don't know about that. That would be kind of a good video to do. The forgotten Nazi Winter Olympics. But I don't know if it'd get many views. You think the Epstein files is a lost cause at this point? Yeah, well, I'm at the point to where I'm wondering if the amount of people involved in it will cause some type of an effect, possibly to the like panic selling with the stock market. Like if there's that many big name people in it, they might try and hide it for that. There's just, it's been so long, and this is even after Trump gets accused of being on it, and they still won't release it. Because you would figure if Trump was accused, he would want it released. But the other thing with Trump being accused, and I discussed this, when you're talking about the files, there's going to be so many, you're talking about the case files, there's so many people on that. Trump, obviously, it's been confirmed, was in the plane twice, not with Epstein, not to the island, but he was in the plane twice. So he's going to be in it no matter what. And there's going to be a lot of people in it no matter what. But I don't know if it's ever going to come out, or they're going to try and maybe release a little something to get people off their backs. But it seems like they really don't care. Thoughts on the flat earthers? It's definitely a grift. Yeah. There's like flat earth influencers, and then they got all their talking points, and it would be something to see. I wonder if they've ever done this, but like, why not just lie? They would just say it's fake, but you send a bunch of them up there. I think they have done it before. You send a bunch of flat earthers who are like the biggest influencers who've got a ton of followers. The thing that happens is you send them up there, and then the followers say, no, now you're compromised. So tired of the liberal talking point about tax breaks for billionaires. Right, that's it's a massive tax break for the middle class is what it is. It's a massive tax break. It's a tax break for everyone. And then they play games with it. It's like, oh, the rich people are going to save the most. Well, yeah, because they pay by far the most in taxes, so that's just how it is. But I understand, like, in some cases, you're talking about giving these people tax breaks when we're this much in debt. It's kind of like counterintuitive. But that's what Trump has always done. What's going on with Musk and Miller? No, that was just a Fox News clip. Miller is gonna, tote the big beautiful bill. Musk hates it, so they had Miller come on and roast Musk basically and talk about it. We're $36 trillion in debt. Who cares about exposing pedos? But it is a big problem. Like, whether or not we're $36 trillion in debt, Trump still has an economy that is doing well. You can have debt. A lot of countries have debt. Now, obviously, our debt is getting to an unsustainable level. But, the economy is in a good spot right now. Prediction on Diddy verdict? Well, I would imagine he's going to be at least 20 to 30 years. 20 to 30 years. That would be my guess, but I don't know. But I haven't been watching it. That's just based off of the poly market betting. Good theory. Epstein files so devastating could cause collapses, faith in government. If CIA Epstein taped and extorted hundreds or thousands. I know that's the concern. It's like, well, there might be other factors at play. We're talking about a cascade effect, not necessarily a cascade effect on former government employees or politicians who get hit with this. The cascade effects could come down to, the health of the economy. And so maybe they're like, we're not going to release this, because it's going to cause a lot of a reaction that is just not necessary. Did you see Peter Thiel couldn't admit that humanity was worth saving? I think I saw, was that clip from a while ago? I think I saw it. If Mondani wins the mayor race, would imagine 2030 census will show New York losing even more residents. Yeah, they'll definitely lose some. I don't know if it'll be, catastrophic. It would just be the city, because he'd be the mayor of the city. Now, the city has a ton of people, but it'll be interesting to see if they lose. I mean, I would imagine they'd lose at least a decent amount of people, just in reaction to him winning. I mean, I don't know if there are any updates, man. The thing is we're not going to really... normally we don't get a ton of updates. That was very rare when the Israel-Iran thing was happening, and, I was streaming, and I was streaming when Israel struck Iran, and then when the United States struck Iran. You think Miller is the Elon of MAGA, except he doesn't have bipolar? Yeah, but Miller's a lot more hardcore on all the stuff than Musk is. Musk is very loose on a lot of the issues. He formerly was a liberal.
She's a bitch.
I'm not gonna freaking play music.
They're like, oh, we respect Leah as a woman, as a trans woman, whatever. We respect her identity. We just don't think it's fair. You can't really have that sort of half support where you're like, oh, I respect her as a woman here, but not here. They're using the guise of feminism to sort of push transphobic beliefs. And I think a lot of people in that camp sort of carry an implicit bias against trans people, but don't want to, I guess, fully manifest or speak.
What in the fuck?
Your beloved New York City. Your
Dude.
beloved New York City may well be led by a communist soon, Zorhan Mandami, who in his nomination speech said he will defy ICE and will not allow ICE to arrest criminal aliens in New York City. Your message to communist Zorhan Mandami.
Well, then we'll have to arrest him. Look, we don't need a communist in this country, but if we have one, I'm going to be watching over him very carefully on behalf of the nation. We send him money. We send him all the things that he needs to run a government. And by the way, they get about 3 times what you get, Ron. If you look at the per capita, Florida gets 1/3 of what New York gets in terms of the number. Ideally, he's going to turn out to be much less than a communist. But right now, he's a communist. That's not a socialist. I've always said, we will not have socialism in this country. In the speeches, I said, well, what?
Yeah, apparently he was a rapper. He was a rapper. Communist Control Act of 1950. Yeah, that's why he says he's a democratic socialist. Did you see Benny Johnson ask Trump? Yeah, he asked him about Mondani, right? Huh. The APAC money said no to controlled demolition. Well, you know what, man? Let me just ask you this, and I do want you to respond. So when you watch my video, if you watch my video, you can see the one angle. I mean, there's multiple angles, but you can see the one angle specifically. If the wall is caving in, so you have the impact zone. The wall below the impact zone starts caving in. So the collapse is triggered by a structural failure. Because think about it, if they're going to lace explosives, they're going to lace them in the core. The core is far away from that area. Think about it. The floors sagged on top of each other. It stressed the outer wall columns, the perimeter columns. The columns began caving in. If the wall is caving in, that's what's triggering the collapse. How is there explosives and that just doesn't make any sense? I mean, people, they can try and explain it in the comments. Maybe I'll do a video reacting to that. Elon's not going to go back to Africa, man. You know, that's just them fighting. They can't let go of their theory. I guess they're too in deep, or I don't know what it is. Do you still believe people knew prior? I think people knew planes were going to hit the buildings. That's what I think. But I don't think there were explosives planted to make sure the buildings would collapse. Is Mondani really guaranteed the governorship? You feel like no? Well, it depends. There'd have to be, you know, if it was just simply Eric Adams against Mondani, I think Adams would beat him or have a good chance. But there's going to be others in the race, and so they're all going to split votes, and so he might end up winning it with like 40%. They didn't about a Midwesterner. That's wrong. Have you seen the South Tower? It didn't collapse at its base. The top of the building collapsed at an angle. I mean, that's just wrong. The North Tower did. You could argue did collapse virtually at free fall speed and directly at its base. But part of that is the way in which it was hit. But if you look at the South Tower, if they say it collapsed at its base, they're just not correct. It's just not accurate. And we can see in videos. I mean, you can see in photos. The top of the building is angled at like 20 degrees. Was the collapse even part of the plan? You thought the plan was just, yeah, I mean, who knows, right? Where you get information, but the information that I've gotten is they just wanted to hit the towers. The collapse was for them, you know, as bad as it sounds, bonus. You feel like the young left is pushing hard for communism while the young right is trying not to, but being pushed towards National Socialism? Maybe just more nationalism, I would say. In terms of the left, because socialism, I mean, you're giving government supreme control. I'm not sure, like, but in terms of the left, I think anytime you have younger people, there's going to be more hardened. There's going to be more, you know, with younger people, you get more radical beliefs on average. Did you see the bitch Warren crying? Did Elizabeth Warren cry today? I don't know if she was crying. I didn't see it, no. Are you gonna take my pills? Yeah. What a weirdo that person was. Yeah, I don't know if she... I don't think she was crying.
Leaving the Senate now. At the end of the vote, when the Republicans won, they cheered. They cheered over taking away health care from around 17 million people. They cheered over giving huge tax breaks to a handful of billionaires. They cheered over running up the national debt by another $3.5 trillion. You know, this bill, it's bad. It's bad economically. It's bad morally. This bill is just wrong. But we stay in the fight. We stay in the fight. We stay in the fight. And we proved why we stay in the fight, because actually there are pieces of this bill that we got better. We got the tax on solar and wind knocked out, and that's going to help with clean energy. We got a few different pieces and made them better. So that's reason number one, is always the reminder. All of those calls matter. Reason number two is it's still not over. The bill has now got to go back over to the House. And there are a lot of Republicans who are feeling really squeamish about this bill at this point. So that means we got to stay in the fight. And reason number three is, yeah, they may do this now, but come November 2026, they're going to have to face the voters. They're going to have to face the people, the families.
The guy yelling in his car. You play the guy yelling in his car again. Which one? There's been like 30 different, liberals that do that. There's been like 30 different. I mean, this is her just, but it's always in the car too. They always go to the car. Why not just do this at your desk? I guess they have to get the video out right away. They're in transit, but it's like. You think we're screwed not for the reason she states? We're screwed because Trump is McCain 2.0. No, Trump's not McCain 2.0. No. I mean, even the ceasefire proved that after 12 days. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this stream. I'm going to end it there. You doubt November 2026 there'll be a blue wave? No, I agree. I think the economy's set up to do very well, especially with this bill going through. This is going to help significantly. Getting these extended tax cuts. What do you think about Elon starting the America Party? I think it's a joke. I don't take it seriously. It's very hard to start parties in the United States and get on ballots and stuff. It's complicated, even with money. NORAD stand down. NORAD didn't have information on domestic flights. That's the problem. They lied and said they did. All right, guys, I'll see you.